Welcome to the Right Club podcast, where the focus is on helping you, the real estate investor, advance to the next level. And now let's join this week's hosts and share ways for you to customize your life.
It's interesting you've done quite a few different kind of strategies. Is that something that you would recommend to a new investor, or what advice would you give somebody who's kind of thinking exactly like you were a few years ago? I want to get into real estate investing, but maybe they don't know what to do next.
I think like anything else, set your goals first. Yes, we don't have to stick to one strategy if that doesn't work. So how I look at it is, at first, I really wanted to know that I could create cash flow if I, like I said, don't want to depend on my working income and pay a lot of taxes. What can I do to create that wealth, to create the cash flow? So for new investors coming in, you don't have to stick to one strategy. However, properly learn how to start, how to do it. Because when I mentioned lease option, it's not that straightforward. It's a creative way of creating cash flow. So make sure you learn how to do it, but go back a step to see what your goals are at that time, to decide on what strategy you want to get into. Like I mentioned, I was lucky in Toronto. I see equity, right? So at first I thought I don't have to focus on building equity. I already see that. However, at that time, it's like piggy bank that I really couldn't just sell and get the money out. I saw it as equity sitting there, and now I was focusing on creating cash flow. Now I'm at a point where I see that I could create cash flow. Let's build up some equity too. At the same time, it doesn't have to be one after another. So now I have short-term, mid-term, long-term goals as well. Short term, it could be lending, could be flip, something that I could create something quickly in terms of cash flow or capital. And long term, it's long term holds.
So what is your, how do I put this? If you've got different strategies and you're doing a lot, obviously, are you doing this full time? Because a lot of people who listen to this podcast, they do it part time. In the evenings, people have jobs and a lot of them love their jobs. Some maybe don't, but that's another story. That's another podcast. Do you do it full time? Do you do it part time? And when you started out, how did you do it?
I don't look at it as full-time or part-time currently, because my job is so flexible. Like a lot of people, since COVID, all of a sudden we can work from home as long as we could finish whatever we're supposed to do. And my job from the very beginning, it was flexible as long as I finished my work. And it just kind of evolved that I'm spending actually more time on the real estate side. My job is in a way that demanding in the beginning when we were setting it up. Now I'm more flexible. There's still certain hours I have to put in. However, it depends on what you want to do. I don't think if it's a side hustle, it's gonna stop you from progressing in real estate. Because as long as you do a little bit at a time. When I started, I basically allocate a few hours at night. And back then, the education was on the weekend. So a lot of juggling. My kids were young, so a lot of my mommy friends helped take the kids to activities. My husband helped. And then I spent a lot of time at night just to go through the material. But overall, I started investing as a side hustle. I wouldn't say I spent any less time though. I didn't sleep a lot. I didn't think I had to do that. However, that's how I started. Just some weekend courses in the beginning and then studying during the week, looking for deals during the week as well and analyze. I think I was able to be more efficient because I had the network when I started. Just get into like the Right Club, different clubs, and also just learning from other people who have already done it.
Thanks for listening to the Right Club podcast, where the focus is on helping all levels of real estate investors advance to the next level and help you customize your life. Be sure to tune in next week at rightclub.com/podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you get a few seconds, please rate the podcast wherever you're listening. It helps the show get noticed by others like you, and we truly appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe.